All right, welcome everyone to Backstage Spotlight. It's so nice to see all of you here today. It's so amazing. Look at you guys. It's like there's so many comments from all over the country as well. Thank you so much. There's people like there's Gurusham, there is Azrina, there's so many different people who are joining us. Erin, hi Deshita, Humaira, Raymond. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's nice to have all of you guys again. It's nice to see that so many of you have been joining all of Ascendance's events and taking part in the many different things that we have for you guys as well. So yeah, welcome everyone to Backstage Spotlight.
A very good morning, guys. I'm Azana. I'm part of the video production squad and one of Ascendance's 8 team member.
And I am Sanat, co-founder and chief operations officer of Ascendance, and also a documentary filmmaker, and also Dr. Sirap, if you guys remember Dr. Sirap.
And we'll be your host for today.
Yeah, it's been a total blast meeting so many of you guys who are joining all of Ascendance's events. So do keep taking part for the many events that we have lining up to the New Age Learner Virtual Conference 2021 that is happening this September. It is the biggest event. Everyone is super excited for it. So guys, if you guys have not registered for the New Age Learner Virtual Conference yet, like, bro, go register now, bro. Okay, go register now for the New Age Learner Virtual Conference.
Welcome to Backstage Spotlight, everyone. For your information, this next 2 months for Backstage, we'll be interviewing many of the speakers for NAL. Do register if you haven't already, like just Sanat said just now.
Yeah, all right. So Backstage Spotlight is a show happening every month where we get to meet successful people from all walks of life, from national athletes, national icons. We've had people like Dato Nicola and David, people like Harith Iskandar on the show, we had people like Jen Hautan, a famous YouTuber, and we've been meeting some young changemakers around the world as well. And Backstage Spotlight is a show that focuses on what happens behind the scenes of these amazing people, like actually what happens backstage. So we're going to be shining light into that, and we're going to be meeting wonderful and amazing people through this show, Backstage Spotlight.
Yes, Backstage by Ascendance, a nationwide youth movement that has been going around for the past 6 years, creating a platform for youngsters like me to figure out what they love doing and start at a really young age. Over these past few months, I've been working with Ascendance, and I had such a great experience. I get to do a lot of things, and one of them is posting, which is what I'm doing literally right now. To know more about Ascendance stuff with you, here's a quick video on what is Ascendance.
Ascendance is a youth movement and a social enterprise founded by Malaysian youngsters with a clear goal to build the future for the young by creating thinking individuals who are aware of their strengths and passions and are willing to act on it, and at the same time see how they can give back to society. But wait, how does one do that? It starts with being aware of ourselves, our habits, our thoughts, the characters and the values we need to build. Ascendance does this through our conferences, the New Age Learner Conference, and also through personal development sessions we have with the kids. Figuring out the deeper aspects of the mind and learning about yourself is step one in a much larger game. Many kids out there have no clue what we're doing at all, and that's okay. What's not okay is not taking the effort to find out. We put kids into various experiential learning environments where they have to test their skills and push their limits and find out what they're truly passionate about. Now, this is where everyone wants to stop, but this is exactly where Ascendance wants to continue. Enough of talking about the ideas of the young, it's time to pass the baton and let them lead. Ascendance focuses our resources and our expertise on working and incubating these ideas into social projects and startups, which go on to generate income and provide solutions to many world problems out there. So what have we done? To date, Ascendance has worked with over 4,000 students from all over the world from 270 different communities. We've shared the story of Ascendance on the world stages. We've organized and hosted our own student conference. We've had the chance to inspire so many kids by developing their ideas and dreams. Ascendance launched our online guidance platform, theteenageentrepreneur.com, which serves as a culmination of all of Ascendance's work over the last 6 years. This platform helps teenagers to be aware of their abilities, learn from successful teenage entrepreneurs, and take part in all of Ascendance's activities. From daily vlogs to monthly workshops to access to our conferences, theteenageentrepreneur.com is the one-stop spot to be a part of Ascendance. Subscribers also get a copy of The Makings of a Teenage Entrepreneur, a wonderful book written by our co-founder and role model, Hasha. This short period, Ascendance also launched the Say What with Ascendance web series, an interactive online platform that helps kids to start working on what they love and solve the many problems that they face. We've had interesting workshops on cooking, dancing, and other life skills. We've been interviewing young changemakers all over the world, and we've been sharing a lot about what the young want on the Say What web series. We also started a new venture that focuses on fractal learning, which we call the Ascendance Academy. With over 25 participants taking part, Ascendance Academy gives people an interesting avenue to test their thinking capabilities and find out the relationship between subjects and topics. We won the Diana Award for Social Change Makers in 2019. We even had a documentary made about us. This profound, exciting, and just fun journey has brought us to places that we never thought we'd go and meet people we never thought we'd meet. So many companies came on board to build the young with us, and honestly, we couldn't thank you guys enough. You've made the dreams of 4 kids into a reality that we'll always cherish. So what's next? Well, we have huge plans moving forward, but I want people to know that building the future was never one man's job. And as much as it is mine, it's also yours, whether you like it or not. You can be a part of the movement and the cause. Get in touch with us, join our activities, become our corporate partners, spread the word out there, and take a step in building the future.
Alright, there was an amazing video on all the work Ascendance has been doing, so please do follow us on social media and get to know more about us as well.
Yeah. So those of you who haven't registered for today's Backstage Spotlight, do register now. There'll be a QR code displayed. This is a form that you guys need to use in order for you to get your certs. If you have not registered yet, please do go and register. But do take note, guys, you will be getting your certs. However, if you would like your Coco marks for Backstage Spotlight, you need to take part in the Backstage Spotlight competition that is coming up at the end of today's event. So if you have not decided to take part in the competition, just give yourself a stretch and take some time after the event to take part in the Backstage Spotlight competition as well. Yeah. So, but Azana, today is not about us. Today we have a phenomenal guest speaker who will be meeting and learning so many amazing things from.
Yes, at 21 years old, this person has been in the forefront of healthcare and aid, and also into youth development as well.
Yeah, today we'll be meeting Omid Gholamzadeh from Italy, who is just 21 years old and has created this movement called AIDU, movement that focuses on healthcare and awareness about cardiovascular diseases and so on, that has been in the works and has been helping tons of people from all over the community as well. Omid is also the recipient of the Diana Award 2020 for his efforts in creating change in his community and creating awareness about cardiovascular diseases as well.
Yep, he is also the co-founder and CEO of New Hope You, an organization that focuses on providing resources and to build an entrepreneurial mindset among teenagers all around the world. New Hope You is developing their own platform and bringing together some of the best minds around the world.
Yeah, so Omid has been a really true inspiration to all of us, and honestly, just like one of the coolest dudes to talk to. So, without further ado, we're going to be welcoming him on the stage. But we're going to be watching a super cool, super rad introduction video made by the new Ascendance apprentices themselves. So, let's watch the video and let's bring Omid onto the virtual stage. All right, so without further ado, let's welcome Omid onto the stage.
Good day, everyone. This is
Hi,
Omid.
Evan.
How are you all doing?
Oh, we're
Good,
fine.
good.
How are you?
Amazing and happy to be here.
Yeah, so Omid, tell us, what time is it now, bro?
Well, I would say it's 5 a.m. right now.
Okay. It's very
But I'm
early for
happy.
you.
I'm happy to be here at
Yeah.
5 a.m.,
Yeah.
even at 4 a.m.
Yeah, thank you so much for actually taking your time to come here. There's like so many people who's like, oh my god, it's Omid. Oh my god, it's Omid. So, guys, do say hi to Omid. Do let him know that you're here as well. And yeah, the comments have been going crazy. So, Omid, we're just gonna put the comments aside for a while, and we're gonna look at it every once in a while to, get to know them a bit better as well. So, but before we start, Azana, I think we have a game for Omid.
Yep. To start us off, since you just went board, Omid, we thought it would be nice to play a really, really fun icebreaker game called When Was This? How are you going to play this game? We will display a few pictures of you, Omid, or anything that has to do with you. But the tricky part is the pictures will be blurred, and you have to try your best to guess each picture. The audience can join in and play this game with us as well. So let's go.
All right, picture number one. So, Omid, when was this, Omid?
Okay, so I think this is the oldest picture. I think I'm at my high school. I am my old high school, um, and I was presenting for the first time an ambassador program that I was launching. And there were, believe me, there were just a few people, but the months later there were hundreds of people. So we made possible to convince people. So yeah.
Okay. So let's look at the clearer version of this picture. So this is like you at
Yeah,
your
that's
high school. Like, how was it like to go back to high school and or like that time was like, were you still in school at that time?
yeah. Well, I just left school after 1 year. I was coming back. The most important thing is like come back and tell your story to inspire others, because you want to also see others go through your path as peers. So that's what I did. I came back, told my story, and I was there to facilitate change by telling what I did and what can be done,
Okay,
and
okay.
starting
So
with why. And that's amazing book as well by Simon Sinek.
that's amazing. That's amazing. It's very nice to like go back and inspire your students from your high school as well. So let's move on to picture number two. Okay, Amit, when was this, Amit? Do you remember this incident or not?
100%. It was one of the best moments. It was just few days before the pandemic started, and then everyone was locked down. And it was in the United States. This was the room of the University of Austin, Texas, and we were. I was just there that one on the right is my mentor, and I was just there to brainstorm on ADU acceleration with the mentors. So after that, I think I was just coming back from an amazing American breakfast that was very very strange for me, like big size stuff and very interesting things to eat. But yeah, I was very happy.
I like how you mentioned the breakfast part. You were like, you always
Yeah,
remember the food that
always
like
remember, especially in Texas, everything's like huge: cars, food, pizza, and whatever.
all right, that's amazing. But I guess that's one of the perks of doing what you do, right? You get to travel all around the world and you get to meet some really, really amazing people who are doing some awesome thing as well. So can we see the clear picture? All right, so that's your mentor in that sense. And like, is your mentor like much older than you or around the same age too?
The fun thing is that we don't need to have very very older mentors. He's I think 5 6 years older. Yeah.
Okay. So it's a group of youngsters who are doing amazing things. We'll be talking to you about what are the things you are doing as well. But before that, let's move on to picture number three.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, I assume this is a very special moment for you.
Yeah,
Which one?
I cannot forget, of course.
Okay.
This was moment. I think the celebration not for my venture itself or for me, but I think for all the youth-led organizations around the world, because it was moment where I was pitching a new idea in 3 minutes. So I practiced like over almost 2 weeks to pack everything in 3 minutes. I was even struggling to put everything together and tell my story in front of adults. Let's say adults, how we call it. and investors or funders. So it was very, really amazing. It was actually anticipated by amazing speakers and amazing actually connections that I did. So yeah, that was in the middle of the pitch. I'm grateful
Okay.
that they took photos of that.
Okay. So it's like going out there and pitching to adults and like sharing your story. Is that like a very scary experience?
It can be, yeah. It depends who you see in front of you. I think the trick is like you just go there and focus to one person or two people. Watch on in their eyes, and then think that there is just one your friend or your family in front of you, and you're talking to them. So then you trick at your mind.
All
Translate
right.
the anxiety to excitement.
Okay. I like that. Translating anxiety or excitement. It's like sometimes we always get stage fright. I mean, sometimes we have a conversation with a friend, you get so like, anxious about it and all of
Yeah.
that. But yeah, turn it to excitement, use it for the good as well. So I think we have one more picture for you. So let's look at the next incident. All right,
Oh.
when was this, Omid?
This was a special moment. It was in 2 years ago. Actually, everything is 2 years ago because in the middle there is some spot for there's a lot of pandemic where we didn't go so far rather than my region. And this is, as you can see, I was supporting because the great thing is that when you build something, it's also helping others to do the same thing or similar things that you did. So was there fundraising for an amazing organization based in the US, but I was in the United Arab Emirates. I was in Dubai at the World Government Summit. Was there pitching to World Bank, UN, prime ministers. There was like Helen Clark, the former prime minister of New Zealand, and it was just about telling your story young people through your story. And let's bring all together to collaborate efforts and change the world.
That's amazing. I mean, like, how is it like to
And
meet different leaders from different countries and so on? Like, how does that feel like going out there and sharing your story to, I would say, some of like the best people around the world as well? How does it feel?
it feels amazing, especially when I was in the fifth year of university after a fifth year of my high school. So after 2 months, I had my final exam. So I just left school for 1 month, and teachers were like texting me, "Where are you? And why don't you come back earlier? You have to study. You have to get your exams ready." And but at the same time, I was there to tell my story and make really tangible things together. So yeah, that's what is funniest thing that could happen, and speaks amazing as well.
That is so nice. It's like, hey, your teacher is like, where did you go? And like, oh no, it's just like presenting to like the ministers and like some very nice people. That's that's a really fun thing to say, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just meeting with friends. I will come back later.
Okay. I think that's the end of our game.
So, Amit, that's all the time that we have. So we'll continue talking about Amit and about your journey, but let's watch a quick video.
Yeah. So quick video, and then we'll continue talking to you.
Everybody, my name is Ashra from Kedah, Malaysia.
Vidya and I'm from Romania.
I'm Priyanka from Kathmandu, Nepal. I am enjoying the New Age Learner Virtual Conference 2020.
And I am enjoying the New Age Learner Virtual Conference.
I am enjoying the New Age Learner Virtual Conference 2020.
1 million teens.
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 Hashtag 1 million teens.
So welcome back everyone to Backstage Spotlight. We have the wonderful and amazing Omid here with us today. Thank you so much, Omid. We had a wonderful game with you just now. But we have like tons of questions for you. Some of us want to know what exactly is it that you do and so on as well. So we'll be taking questions. Audience, if you guys have any questions, you can ask Omid as well. But Azana, what's the first question we have for Omid?
Okay, Omid, how did the idea of AU started?
Amazing question. Because you have to start. Sometimes everything starts like with what's happening around you, right? And that's purpose. They start with why the photo of my high school. Yeah. So I really felt, let's say, involved when a father of my best friend actually died because of heart failure. That was the reflection moment that made me understand why is this happening? Why can't we really accept this thing even like as a normal thing? When you just step back from the problem, you see like there are tons of problems related to that, and people are not doing anything about that. And then you ask yourself, why is nothing being done when you actually you have the tools? The first tool is your creativity, and then also the other tools, that the infrastructures or people, and nobody does anything. So it's your turn to step up and do something. So that's how I started.
Okay, so like, I mean, with regards to things like heart disease and all of that, many people don't know like that there is something called heart disease until either it happens to them or it happens to someone very close to them, and that's when they were like, okay, there's something called heart disease and all of that, but it's very important to be aware of these kind of problems and all, right? So what do you think is lacking in people? Like, is it the awareness, and how are you providing the awareness, through ADU?
Well, the fun thing is that I am not a doctor, and many people, when I go, last week I went to the dentist, and he was telling me, oh, I saw you on Facebook, and are you a doctor that you're doing this social venture? I mean, do you need to be a doctor to build a social venture that addresses a social justice? Well, that's what my question to him. I couldn't actually answer, but yeah, it was a funny, interesting conversation. But yeah, heart disease is very broad as well, and the heart failure is the end result of all the bad habits that you have. So you shouldn't look at that problem. You should step back, as I told you all, and see what's going on that brings that. So yeah, and you could see that even a closest person that you have, your friend, your family, your parents, there are a certain set of habits, bad habits. It can be a mix of eating, also physical activities, but also different mental health exposures, or your anxiety and whatever. So there are endless factors, and the major thing is we lack awareness. People doesn't know how to deal with certain things, and they just are so busy to do things because we have a very busy society. Everyone's running at work, coming back, running at work, coming back. Time for kids, time for going on vacation. You don't have time to reflect on how your body reacts to certain inputs. So yeah, it's mostly awareness, and secondly also family heritage, but thirdly, also actually the lack of close healthcare system. They don't even care about how they want to treat you.
Yeah, yeah. But the question is, I mean, like, okay, like a lot of times we walk on the street and then we see problems like this, like we see that people are not being aware about it. But a lot of times we see social injustices taking place, but we never do anything about it. So what made you do something about it, and what made you do something about it?
So the humans in general do have few mistakes. One is they just don't ask questions about what's happening, and one is you ask questions but you don't go deeper to take action. And these are just subjective, of course, mistakes. And I mean, beside the fact that I mean, the easy fact is you are seeing something that is indirectly impacting you. I mean, you saw how your best friend changed, his life changed as well. And this can happen to other friends, but also to myself as well. So at a certain point, social entrepreneurship is also about caring how to safeguard yourself according to an injustice. This is the easiest way to frame how you start. But there is a bigger picture. I mean, uh, you have that hungriness of changing things when um, you see that things can be done and you have ideas. So I think when you are like extremely creative or want just to do something, um, and you have people that supports you, that are especially organizations, you're more than ready to do things happen. So I don't think there is a specific reason or that made things go on. I mean, especially start, but I think it's all around purpose in trying to safeguard all your community and do something well.
That's amazing. That's something that I didn't think of. It's like if you can do something about it, and if you do have the ideas and you don't do anything about it, that's not right. If you have the potential to do it, you have the creativity to do it, go ahead and get it done in that sense. That's amazing. That's really, really nice. So we have a lot of questions from the audiences as well. We thought of just giving you, taking some questions from the audiences and so on. So we have one question from Sandra. Did you feel like giving up at any point when you were doing AID-U? We'll talk about New Hope U a bit later, but AID-U, did you feel like giving up, and who was always having your back in those times?
Me and myself. Was
Okay.
it's a sad story, but no, it's not totally like that. But I felt, I mean, I know that's part to give up, but you can feel to give up, but not give up. And definitely because that I do started like, when I was in second year of high school. You have your duties that society puts on you. You have to pass exams with high grade, etc., etc., and then you
Okay.
have other things. So there's a lot of pressure from teachers, others, and parents. And I felt giving up a few times, especially when it's hard to see tomorrow how edu is changing. So it's hard for social ventures to see how you're changing your idea or how you're progressing, because simply you can't change things overnight in your project as you can change things outdoor. So it's all about a balance between self-motivation and discipline that made me not giving up. I mean, discipline makes you consistent over time. I mean, I want to do this thing. I want to see just as this small piece tomorrow that is done. And this also keeps you on track to avoid being trapped by all the society needs or pressure that it gives you.
Okay, okay, that's pretty amazing as well. So like, you're doing this thing, you know, doing it alone. I don't know. I mean, like you always start off as an idea as a person, but eventually you pull in the right kind of teammates to come on board as well. So let's talk a little bit about getting teammates, because a lot of people that we've been working with, especially a lot of young change makers, they want to do something, they want to create something, but a lot of times they lack the resources, and more importantly, they lack the people who have that same passion and drive as them. So tell us about your teammates. How do you pick your teammates? What's the process of building the team behind ADU?
Amazing. I mean, would you rather have a team that is close by, I mean, in your classroom or your family household, that is not passionate, or would you rather have like a random team that is online, you never met them, but is affected by the same injustice? So I would, in my case, I selected the most craziest, let's say, model, not according to me, according to others. I mean, they said, "Oh, you're crazy. How can you work with a random person you never met to change the world? Are you kidding, or are you just doing a game?" So I felt lonely as a person, not finding the right team, because everyone was so busy doing their own things, getting high marks. So I went online. That's where all the things come together and organized. So I built my first co-founder is based and was based in Uganda, so East Africa, and at first sight, I didn't know even where was this country, but I didn't really care because he shared the value. So teams with shared values are like powerful, are amazing, are consistent. So yeah, my first founder was in Uganda. We built things online, and I must say the pandemic also helped. Didn't really change how we run because we started online since day one, so we didn't have been affected. And people, I mean, and other people, I try to start building my, let's say, influence around people. I mean, this can be done. I am showing you that this can be done. Yeah, I started with random guy in Uganda, but now please let's find someone that is closer. If not, I'm gonna burn out all the time on the screen. So I was there to tell that this can be done, and that's how I got on the team. At least 4 people in my school, and finally I'm trying to change as well their mindset in general, or ideas about social entrepreneurship.
Okay.
Okay, so Omid, talk to us about New Hope You and why would you create a platform like this?
Yeah. What's the story behind New Hope You, and how did it come about, the idea?
The idea came just because of all the things that we mentioned up to now. You know, I mentioned loneliness when finding teammates. I mentioned supporting myself without people around. That's bad. I mean, look for people that support you as well. So these were the 2 pillars that made me realize. I mean, I went through this process. It was so hard, and it was like so piecewise. I mean, very scattered and very hard to put things together. I mean, why shouldn't we create something, a platform, all in one platform that is homogeneous from A to Z, that helps young people not to do things, but just to explore themselves, but also actually, if you have some projects, to connect projects around, because there is, I mean, we are 25 years back with the SDGs achievements. Just in 24 weeks of pandemic, we just went 25 years back. We need to foster collaboration around us all together. So that's how UP was born, and UP was born is in a key phase that was the pandemic. And then there was a lot of backstage there. We are just having the wrong teammates. So yeah, look for teammates, but stay aware that you can find also wrong teammates that are delaying your projects. So we delayed like 1 month during the pandemic, during lockdown in Italy, because we were one of the first countries in lockdown. There was this sort of influencer that wanted to do their own things. But yeah, we ended up doing things and launching this festival, and people were at home. So use opportunities also to gather people together, and yeah, that's how it born. So in need of my personal journey that I think is relatable to many others, and unknown also to many others. So two
Okay.
targets.
Yeah. So it's like you understood the fact that the problem is the mindset of youngsters, or they just need to be exposed to different things, and it led you to creating a platform that helps them connect with other youngsters, helps them to see that there's so much more that youngsters can do, not just do the normal things that they've been doing so far, and so forth as well. And I think that's amazing because I like your style. I have to say this. I like your style a lot because you look at something that's happening and you're like, okay, what can I do about it? Like should I start a movement called ADU? And then you're like, oh, okay, this is the next problem that I see. So let's start something called UOPU, and that's amazing. It's like, were you always someone like this who thinks like this, or is this something you developed after a while? This entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there is a social venture inside a social venture. I mean, in everything, I mean, I was at ADU. It was a social venture about heart-related diseases. It is actually so prevention, awareness, technology. But then when you work in the field, you understand that there is another problem inside. So it's like there are some games here in Italy. It's like some pieces that you just open. There is something inside. Open. So there was a lack of connection between NGOs. So there is another idea for social ventures. So it could go on to be something else. So when I built ADO, I got to understand that there is also a margin for building new hope here. So see ventures everywhere. I mean, maybe I am just, my hobby is to understand and I don't know, think about social ventures. I don't know if it's a great hobby, but probably.
That's a good hobby, bro. It's like you just look at it and be like, oh, there's a social venture inside there for me. Okay, so we have a lot of questions for you, but we do want to take some questions from the audiences. We have a question from the Ascendance apprentices as well. So let's take a short break. We'll watch a video, and then when we're back, we'll take some apprentice questions and some audience questions as well. So let's watch the video.
Subscribe now to the teenageentrepreneur.com.
All right, so welcome back everyone to Backstage Spotlight featuring Omid. It's been really fun. We've been having like a really fun conversation and like a really interesting conversation about how the human mind works and so on as well. So before we continue, it is selfie time. So please do take out your phones, head over to Instagram right now, take a picture of yourself, okay? Post it on your Instagram, tag Omid, tag Ascendance, and put the hashtag 1,000,000teens, and share with us how you are enjoying your Backstage Spotlight. You can just turn around and just put it this way so you can see all of our beautiful faces and all of that as well. But please do post it on Instagram, tag Ascendance, so we can show the world that, hey, you're enjoying your Saturday morning watching Backstage. And also, you can also just send it to your friends and be like, bro, like, what are you doing on a Saturday morning, bro? You're supposed to be in Backstage Spotlight. First, come and watch Backstage Spotlight. You can share this link with them and get them to start watching this particular event as well. So, moving forward, yeah, Azana.
So welcome back to Backstage Spotlight, everyone. So Omid, being from Ascendance Apprentices, we have a lot of interesting questions. So let's watch a quick video on the questions we have for you.
Yeah, so here's a video from the Ascendance Apprentices on some questions that we have for Omid.
Let's go.
My name is Saratu Mashita, and I am one of the Ascendance Apprentices. I want to ask you two questions. First, what made you to go this far from the beginning until this time? And second, what will you do if you are having a bad day or when you feel down? That's all from me. Hashtag building the future. Hashtag 1 million teens.
Hi Omid, I'm Hazik. Nice to meet you. So, this is such a great honor to grab the chance to ask you a question. Here we go. My first question is, knowing what you know now, is there anything you would have done differently when you were first starting out? And my second question is, what challenges did you have to overcome at the beginning of your journey?
Hi, I'm Anna, and here are my questions to you. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? And the last question is, what are you most afraid of regarding the future success of your business? Thank you.
All right, so there's a lot of very interesting questions. Honestly, me and Azana were like so surprised. We were like, how did we not come up with these questions? So we'll be asking you some of the questions from the Ascendance Apprentices. Let's start off with the first question that they asked. What makes you go this far from the beginning until now? What keeps you going?
It can be answered very, very easily, like the purpose, but it's very general. I mean, everyone is answering like that. But I think it's a context of things. Like, the first thing I think is like the injustice itself. I mean, especially if you are talking about health outcomes, if you see easily how your work is impacting others, this can be already an incentive to go on, right? So even though you are like having a complex service or product, might find small pieces that are directly impacting not only on people but on your progress as a person and your progress as a project. So split in small pieces your progress, so you can keep track. But we don't care about keep tracking it, not necessarily. We just want to keep engaging ourselves, because we want to be engaged and consistent. So it's mostly consistency connected to purpose of changing something. So I think these are main things.
Okay.
So the next question is, knowing what you know now, what you have done differently?
So right now I am pretty strong in networking, I would say. But the problem is that I didn't invest so much time in culture, in nurturing, in creating a network. Let's say connecting further with a network. You know, you can know a person, you can share the details. Yeah, nice to meet you. What a great pleasure. But what's next? I mean, what's tomorrow? What's the day after tomorrow? Of course, you don't need to talk with that person. It's not your best friend. You chat on WhatsApp, but I wish I knew that is very critical to nurture, to, let's say, welcome or let's say build your connections, not only create connections.
Yeah, it's like maintaining a good relationship, understanding people much better. I think that's something that all of us wouldn't know. But I guess that comes with age, and it comes with experience as well. I think now you're much better at doing that as well. So let's take some. We'll come back to the apprentice questions after this. But we have a very interesting question from Putri Izzati. is entrepreneurship your achievement, and what do you want to achieve in the field of entrepreneurship?
The first thing I wanted to achieve when I was 15 was to understand how to read the word entrepreneurship. It's very complex, especially as an Italian, to read all those consonants and H everywhere. The first thing was understanding. I didn't necessarily know firstly that I was doing entrepreneurship. I was just starting doing something, tackling some issues, and then somebody told me, "Are you a social entrepreneur?" Maybe. Just Google it, and yeah, I am. I probably am, and I was like starting to discover that field. How I see, I think entrepreneurship is more like self-expression of your ideas, and also courage as well. So it's a way of living, I would say. You're not entrepreneur in that working hours, you're entrepreneur in general, because you want to understand people, you want to be curious, you want to travel as well. Entrepreneur is a lifestyle as well. So yeah, probably that's what I want to achieve. I don't think there is an achievement like right now, but I want to achieve that thing, but not as intended as a tool, but intended as a lifestyle as well. And how entrepreneurship can change things, it can change a lot of things. I think it will open a lot of doors. So yeah, 100%. This was about entrepreneurship question.
That's very nice. I like what you mentioned. It's not about being an entrepreneur at work. It's about being an entrepreneur in general. The entrepreneur mindset is something that you just have all the time. You look at opportunities, you look for solutions, you look at building relationships and communicating with people. And I guess it's very nice when you put it that way, that an entrepreneur doesn't mean you take a suitcase and you walk into like a giant office and you sit down there and you do your things. It's about thinking like an entrepreneur, and that's our topic for today. And that's really nice that we were mentioning that as well. So let's take another question from from the apprentice and also from the audiences as well. So I'm going to ask you this thing. I think Shivani asked the question. In the process, do you get anxious at times, or do you? I think there's also another question called from Noor Arabella. Do you overthink about outcomes and so on? So my question to you will be, when you're feeling down, or sometimes you feel down, either you feel overwhelmed or you feel anxious and stuff like that, what do you do? How do you overcome that mental health issues that come being an entrepreneur at a young age, or going through the things that you're going through?
I don't think there is a specific answer for in general, but right now, there are many different tools like apps that also helps you to do meditation or stuff like that. But before, I even didn't know that things. So the best, let's say, weapon or a tool was, I think, my friend. So when you are like overwhelmed, I think it's good to cut, because if you go on, to cut temporary, of course, that day or that week, because if you go on in that way, you're not only harming yourself, but also harming your thing that you are building. So just wait, just reflect, just cut a bit, and talk with your friend, family, but not necessarily, but not about your organizations or whatever. Talk about anything. And I think nature. I use a lot nature. I go out in the nature. We have beautiful hills. Just here, I take my bike. In 10 minutes, arrive to random places, and that's where you contemplate the green areas in amazing places, and that's where you rebuild your freshness. I think it's people first. So the more people you have they are backing you, the better. But in my case, I did have just one or two people, so that's even harder. So you turn out to go to the Mother Earth, that is nature, and trying to do some mindfulness or whatever. I wish I knew before as well.
Okay, so it's like, take a break sometimes, breathe a bit, go out and take some time for yourself,
Yeah.
recharge yourself in that sense, and come back and do what you need to do, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly. About the outcome, don't overthink about outcomes. I did overthink about outcomes, and it goes back to what I was saying before. Like, yes, you want to see the progress of your project, but you don't have to have the Google reminder said, oh, did you do this? I mean, um, when I meet friends every time, because it's hard to tell what you do, especially to people that doesn't necessarily are into this world. So you just say goodbye. How are you? Hello. Good. How are you? They're just telling. Oh, did you already launch your product, or did you already reached out to these organizations? I mean, every time. So people are expecting you to do something, but doesn't even know what you're doing. So people also makes you anxious, and also in a fun way as well. But yeah, don't overthink outcomes, because it's very hard to have immediate outcome. If you build smaller outcomes, you can also overthink them, because it's pretty easily achievable within 1 day or 1 week. So yeah, divide splits in steps is better. Overthinking is very harmful as well.
Yep, yep, that's amazing. Okay, so this is a very interesting question. Everyone asks this question to everyone, but let's hear it from you. But how do you manage your time? Like, you do so many things. I think you're also studying right now. You're a fellow at the U.S. Department of State. So congratulations on that. So how is it like, like going and studying in the U.S. and at the same time you have your things to do? How do you manage being a student and an entrepreneur at the same time?
Well, you don't sleep. That's small.
I'm so sorry. That is so understandable, but yeah.
No. Well, this was a joke, of course. I mean, I think the key is if you see a lot of like performance culture, etc., you see that the key is routine, but doesn't necessarily mean routine kills creativity. So stay aware that if you have a specific routine that is not changeable, it's crazy, because you do the same thing every day. So routine that is flexible is amazing. So having even a specific time when you wake up, for example, uh, keeps you understanding how to structure the day as well. And secondly, I think being accountable to others. So find a body or person to whom you are accountable for something. But I think in my case, I am accountable to my community. I mean, I want to make change. I'm accountable to that. I don't need any friend or family member to do that. But for other things, that can be also reading a book. I want to read a book of 300 pages by the end of the day, not the day, by the end of the month, for example. Be accountable with friends, for example. So I think the key for me to manage time is to use as much of tools as possible. Use technology to organize your day. Plan breaks. I mean, in Iceland, that is a country in Europe, they just moved from 8 hours work to 4 hours work a day. And they have seen a spike in performance. It's not about how hard you work, but how smart you work, how consistently you are working. So split things and goals in small steps, have routines, breaks like mindfulness sessions or whatever, and use tools, Google, whatever, to organize your schedule. And if you're passionate, so I am passionate about studying at U.S. Department of State. So we are like have also different schedules. So you're okay. You are lucky, because in U.S. you have the time zone that for you it starts like in mid-afternoon and goes up to the night. So
Okay.
you're actually optimizing that way, but it's a wrong thing, because actually you don't sleep, as I told you at first answer. So luckily it's also asynchronous. So be organized in that sense, and as well if you see the passion, the spark inside you, I think is the most important driver for organizing.
Yeah,
Find time for self, take care of yourself, go out, learn from others, and nature and sport.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, that's amazing. I think it's nice that you mentioned the fact that use technology, number one, because a lot of us we just like we tend to skip by the day without planning the day at all. And for some of us, it's like whenever we think about planning our day, I must plan my day. I must do this. I must do that. So it's just I love what you mentioned about being accountable and also, looking at having fun, having fun throughout the day, enjoying the work that you do and so on as well. That helps you out a lot. So that's amazing. So we have a lot of questions from the audiences. I think they've been like going again and again in the comments as well. But there's one question that that many people have been asking. What were the challenges that you faced in the initial stages of developing EDU and also developing New Hope U as well? So, how do you overcome these challenges that you face?
So yeah, nice question, because it's pretty huge. But yeah, I mean, I will not talk about the team because I think that was the first issue. But I already talk about that. Let's leave that. I think the second biggest thing is like building trust. Building trust is the biggest challenge, because as a youth organization, you want to get known in your own city. I don't care about country for now, I would say. In your own city. I mean, well, before that, you need people to know what you're doing. And it's hard. As I told you, friends doesn't even understand what they're doing. Or even parents or teachers. I mean, when you talk about social entrepreneurship, they think like something mischievous, strange on the internet, something general. Like we don't know what's that. So the first barrier and challenge was to justify the time that you have spent in building this project. You don't need to justify, but when people put pressure on you, asks questions, or maybe your high school grade is a bit lower, because the balance is the first challenge as well. I mean, how are you balancing your high school commitments and the youth-led change, and how do you justify the fact that you're giving up time for studying to do something that nobody understands? Of course, what few people understands close to you. So the first thing is like the challenge is like motivation and making people understand what you're doing.
Did we lose Omid?
Oh no.
Okay, no worries. Okay, we shall wait for Omid to come back
I'm
as
back.
well.
Can you hear me?
Omid. Hi, Omid. Yeah, we can hear you, but we
Can you
can't
hear
really
me?
see you yet. Okay, let me just. Okay, hi, Omid. You're back on online again.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Perfect. Sorry for, I don't know what happened. But yeah, the first thing is like the worst thing that I did was like not telling in a good way the story. So I encourage you all to build a frame, like few sentences to very easily understand, make people easily understand what you do, because that gives you a lot of motivation and to go on, right? And yeah, and the last thing was trust. I mean, to get funding, for example, or to just go to meeting people, you need to, I mean, many people are saying like, you're just 16 years old, what can you do for me? I mean, why should I listen to you? So find good motivations to tell them that you can do something. And the biggest way to build trust is to make things happen, to do smaller steps that are tangible and people can see what you're doing. And also, if you have a community, show the numbers, whatever. So yeah, these are biggest challenges. And I wish you knew before how to deal with them as well. You understand on the way.
Okay. So it's like the process, right? It's the process of like only when you go through certain obstacles, you realize, oh, okay, this is how you handle it as well. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's been like really fun talking to you, Omid, and we have so many more questions, but unfortunately we don't have much time. We're reaching the end of the show. Oh, we have one very nice question actually.
Yes.
What's your plan for the future? This is from Farifta, and was also a question from Annabelle as well just now. Where do you see yourself in the next few years to come, and what's your plan for the future, Omid?
The first personal plan is to travel the world. But let's see.
Yeah.
It's hard, but I want to pursue what I'm doing right now. But the U.S. Department of State experience, for example, that is giving a melting pot of how we build startup ecosystems, how policies influence country development, economic development. So yeah, I see myself building ventures. I want to go. I see that most sustain. I think that I want to explore a mix between social entrepreneurship and high tech startup as well. Because I mean, I extremely interrelated. I mean, you just connect the dots. So I'm gonna explore many different ways on emerging technologies, how to enhance learning, for example, or tackle health issues. So those are the main two key areas, and youth empowerment. So, and then I think the ultimate goal is how can I help more people together with my expertise and knowledge, with my entrepreneurial journey. I think I would love really to join some boards or policy advisory areas of European Union, for example, European Commission or World Bank, to understand how we strategize to make things happen in a different way. I mean, right now we are just individuals taking action in my city or internationally, actually, in my case, in the world. But how can we take this perspective from a government perspective, for example? So connecting the dots, I think, is and building a bridge in that way, I think, is my ultimate goal to how to scale impact as well. And how I see myself in 10 years, I think apart from the part of the traveling, it's not about traveling in one, two places. It's more about global citizenship culture.
Yeah.
I mean, here, Tokyo, all learning from others. So I want to see myself in 10 years to be extremely open-minded, extremely look forward to learn next, learn from history as well. So that's also about the purpose of going to places and build something unique that also already has been built in some ways, but build something unique for certain issues. So yeah, and using technologies. I would say these are the main plans for next.
All right.
And support anyone, and support Ascendance, for example, anytime at 5 a.m. And the call.
Yeah, sure. Amazing. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the day. Hazana, you have one last question for Amit?
Yes, Omid, I heard that you are going to be the speaker for the New Age Luna happening in September. Are you excited about it?
Extremely excited. I am extremely excited, and I'm looking forward to share my knowledge. But firstly, to also to learn from all of you. So yeah, extremely excited to be at this conference in September. So please register. Feel free to get excited or get back on Instagram, and let's build the ground for this amazing experience that is going to be very, very fun and enriching for you all and me as well.
All right. So thank you so much, Omid, for spending your time with us. Audiences, please do stay on the call. We have a lot of amazing things lined up for you. But that's all the time we have today, Omid. Wishing you all the best. Wishing you good luck for all the ventures that you're doing as well. And we're looking forward to seeing all the amazing things that you do. And also looking forward to seeing you at the New Age Learner Virtual Conference in September.
100%.
Yeah. So thank you, Omid, and we'll see you again another time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Ciao. Goodbye from Italy.
Yeah. So,
Great pleasure.
all right, awesome. Okay, so audiences, please do stay on the call. Some of you have been asking us how you can get the attendance link for today and so on. Okay, if you guys cannot see the what is that? If you guys cannot see the links and all, refresh and you can see the links in the description below. And that's the first part of it. And the second part of it is we have the Backstage Spotlight competition coming up, but we're going to be watching a quick video first. So once we're back from the video, we'll talk to you about how you can be a part of the competition. If you guys want your Coco mugs, make sure you guys take part in the competition as well. So we're going to be taking a short break and then we will talk to you about the Backstage Spotlight competition.
Hi, I'm Nicole David. And my one advice for all youngsters out there is to stay true to yourself and go for your passion.
I would say, frickin' enjoy yourselves. You're young. Work hard. Just go out and do what you enjoy. You have time. It's not the end of the world until you say it is.
Everyone can be a change maker, and I would say that it starts with having to change your mindset. So by changing our mindset, we can all make a difference.
Find your passion, follow it, stay creative, and don't let your age be a limit.
It is okay if sometimes you also don't know what you want to be. Just believe in yourself and come up with a plan, and always be ready to change your plan.
All right, so welcome back, everyone. Let's just make one more announcement as well. Yep, some of you are still looking at the link, so please do refresh, and then you can look at the registration form. So please do go and register if you haven't already registered yet. We'll put up the QR code right now, and you can look at that as well and register for this particular event, so you can get your sets as well. Okay. So okay. So Azana, what do we have in store for the Backstage Spotlight competition?
So yes, guys, we're back again with our Backstage Spotlight competition, where the grand prize is 100 ringgit cash prize and also the Teenage Entrepreneur Basic Book Set. And you will also have the consolation prizes, where you get 50 ringgit cash alongside with the Teenage Entrepreneur Book Set again. So the competition details is you need to answer these two questions, which is what is the most important lesson that you have learned from today's Backstage Spotlight, and also what is your message to Omid and Ascendance as well. So your video entry must be 30 to 45 seconds only, and then the video language must be English, and the deadline has to be at 27th July, which is 3 days from today. And then each participant can only submit one video and is open to Malaysians below 18 years old only. So to submit your video, you need to post it on your Instagram feed with the hashtag BackstageOmid, and you have to tag Ascendance at Ascendance Pro and tag Omid himself at omid.gh. And please do make sure your account is set to public, and we will judge your videos from Instagram and Instagram only. So we will accept any WhatsApp videos or any other resources. So what do you need to say in your video? Step 1, you need to introduce yourself. Tell us your name, your age, because we don't know you at all. So step number 2 is to answer the questions that I mentioned just now. And step number 3 is to end your video with hashtag 1 million pins. So that is on the competition side. Other than that, do our upcoming new agenda virtual happening in September with the theme Building the Future with Generation Z, where we'll feature many amazing entrepreneurs worldwide, and one of them being our guest speaker for today, Omid himself.
All right, so to sign up for this conference, please do the QR code that is being portrayed right now. So you can actually use that and sign up for the New Age Learner virtual conference that is coming up. There is like 20 different speakers, guys. It's like the biggest event that is happening. There's Omid, there's Sheldon and Emerson. Some of them you've met them before. Some of them are completely new people. So we'll be meeting a lot of young change makers. So please do go and sign up for the New Age Learner virtual conference as well. But don't worry, it's in September. There's so many things that you guys need to do from July, and then there's August and there's September. So if you have not joined the Ascendance Upcoming Events Telegram group already, please do join the Ascendance Upcoming Events Telegram group. It's a QR code that will be portrayed right now. You can actually use that and join the Telegram group and invite like all of your friends to come to join this particular group, so we can keep telling you more about the many different events that we have. Remember that the certs, we will be delivering it to you guys within the week. So do contact us if you have any issues with regards to your cert and so on. And if you guys want Coco mugs, you have to take part in the Backstage Spotlight competition. So take part in the Backstage Spotlight competition, do your video. You can like just spend like the next 10 minutes after
It's
this
a must
record the
if
video.
you want Coco.
Yeah. Yeah, and take part in the competition as well. And yeah, that will be on that side. So remember to register if you guys haven't already, and take part in the competition as well. All right, I think that brings us to a close right now. Here is the QR code for you guys to get your cert as well. So yeah, fill up the certs, and we'll see you in the next events that we have as well.
So we have come close for today, and we hope to see all you guys soon. So we like to take this time to thank all of our corporate partners. Our main corporate partners is ET Ideas, and then we have Precious 30 Days, Hello Gorgeous Beauty Parlor, Genesis on Digital, B Corps Marketing Sendang Berhad, NK Associates, Globetrotter Consultancy, Start.com, Experience Marketing, Highlights.
And we'll also thank GMA Associates, MIM Maju Enterprise, Lifestyle Ventures, Sendirian Berhad, ET Boost, Dishik Events, New Year Synchronizer, Simply Empowering, Preceptor Empire, Chessmaster Jenny, Sumin 12, Rhythm Dance, Persatuan, Minda Dynamic Dan Creative, Coffex Coffee, Mutara Acoustic Equipments, EHD Lifestyle, Plabable, Creative Crux, Fresh Ink Mandy, and Pro Kisa Plastic and Paper M Sendirian Berhad. With that, my name is Sanat.
And I am Azana.
And we'll be signing off from Backstage Spotlight. See you guys again in the upcoming Ascendance events and at the New Age Learner Virtual Conference 2021.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Nicole David, and my one advice for all youngsters out there is to stay true to yourself and go for your passion. Work towards it and work hard, because you can break all barriers if you give it your full effort in anything you do. I'd like to invite all of you to continue into the New Age Learner Virtual Conference soon by Ascendance, and hope you all can sign up soon.
Hey everyone, it's Harith Iskander here. So join me, and I can't wait to see everyone at the New Age Learner Virtual Conference 2021. So it's all about being young. Now, if I was to have a message for young people, I would say, frickin' enjoy yourselves. You're young. Work hard. Just go out and do what you enjoy. You have time. It's not the end of the world until you say it is. Enjoy yourselves. I'll see you at the conference.